Random wrestling thought of the day. Seems like my XLR is a little funny, but I'll find out when I get to post. Anyhow, I'm just going to get into it. I may seem like I'm babbling. I don't know where I'm going to go. I'm just going off of energy. Once again, excuse my voice. So, I personally decided to take a social media break of some sorts, a YouTube break. Past few weeks, energy wasn't right. I wasn't very happy with the work that I was seeing coming from WWE. Wasn't happy with the work seen from AEW right after their last pay-per-view. Go back into my archives, something that happened from that point on that I said, if this happens, I'm not watching AEW anymore. And to letter of law, it happened. So I don't watch AEW anymore. Only thing I caught were the video clips of Dr. Britt Baker, which I thought was still hilarious. I had already spoken about her character. But right now, from what I've seen in that clip, the best thing going, I'm still not going to go back and watch AEW. I stated before, WWE is the only company that frustrates me. With that stated, between the Cove stuff, because I don't want to get flagged, between the protesting and all that stuff, right around that time, basically, there was some comments that were made about Alexa Bliss, and layered on top of the Hana Kimura death, it just made me just think that social media is just getting a little bit out of control. And I had stated it before that it's going to come down to a point where we're not going to have access to things. People are not going to have access. Your voices are going to be muted. All the time you could have had spending time with quote-unquote celebrities or personalities, you spend time, or a certain number of people spend time bashing them. And I was just sitting and thinking, like, damn, do I really want to be associated with that? And on top of that, there was another guy that had mentioned that. I said, oh, he's cool. But then I had to think about something that he did. And the cat seems like he's older than I am, way older than I am. And he's acting very childish. And once again, it had to do with Alexa Bliss. This was just stupid. Like, why would you equate her skills with her sexuality? Like, I'm not getting that. And then the thing that annoyed me even more is that she responded. I'm like, why even give this person the time of day? And it's just for me, it's like, well, damn, I don't critique the talent. I critique the storylines per se. And when I do critique the talent, it's not like in a very effed up way like that. So I just had to step back and just kind of like think, like, do I really want to associate myself with that? And like, I didn't feel as motivated to get on this microphone and sell, you all that are listening cheap. And I just felt like it was a breath of fresh air and just was doing a lot of thinking. Long story short, I've been thinking about making some creative changes. I'm not going to speak on what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do it and see if you like it. Something that I've done before, but I'm going to give it another shot. It allows me to be that much more creative and hopefully different from the other channels. So that's where I've been, trying to get my head right and just being able to take a breather. With that stated, let's do some dives. I'm going to say something you all can laugh. You gotta laugh your ass off. It's great. But when it happens, let's see. Vince McMahon is going to be forced to sell that company. Can't tell you it's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be sometime soon. I'm not saying tomorrow, SummerSlam, this one, that one. I'm not putting any dates. I feel he's going to be forced to sell that company. But they're going to gloss over it and make it seem like, oh, it's time. And da-da-da. He's pissing shareholders off. He has way too many lawsuits. He's been doing a lot of lying, which he's been known to do. And that's another thing that I've been doing. I've been watching a lot of older interviews from other wrestlers, former stars that used to be in the company. And all you see is just, all you hear is the stories about lying, Vince lying and lying this, conniving, and I'm willing to pay you this and not paying people, and just on and on and on and on and on and on and on. The same chicanery that he's pulling on people. I think that there are too many people, or the perception that there may be too many people that are too enamored with WWE. And I feel that, if it's not sold sooner than later, right? WWE, if it's not already known, within the industry, but I'm going to say it will be known publicly that when people sign with WWE, if things do not change sooner than later, and I mean as far as a sale happening, WWE is just going to be the place where you go to get money. It's not going to be, the big, because the more interviews that I've seen from present day talent and older talent, the same thing's being said. You think it's going to be this big thing, and then you see that you're just on a hamster wheel. But let's just go down this multiverse right now. Let's say Disney or Amazon, but let's just stick with Disney because their name's on the bubble with ESPN and all that, right? And I did notice that Disney, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, now they're offering a package. And ESPN Plus, they have that deal with WWE, right? So let's just imagine if they're getting bought. They get bought by Disney, right? Disney comes in. They're going to have Vince and the guys there on staff. They're going to come in, see how the company is run. Once they get a whiff of those books and start scratching their head and saying, how was he able to get away with this for so long? Oh my God, this is crazy. Like most companies do, they get rid of the old team. Once they see how the company is run, and they go, okay, we see how you do this, all right. Thank you for your time. Time for you to move on, time for you to move on, time for you to move on, time for you to move on. And then they will fully take over. And then you will see a lot more changes. You will see a lot more. Let's just say it is Disney. You're going to see a lot more what I'm going to call right now cross-pollination. You're going to see, like we've already heard, Sasha Banks being on, or Mercedes being on now, the Mandalorian, right? You're going to see more of that. And the only way to get that access is for them to buy that company. So now, as the late, great Shad Gaspar had said in a recent interview that I had seen prior to his passing, he was branching out to start a podcast. Unfortunately, he only did 3 episodes. But he had said, this is Vince. Imagine being a guy, and I've heard this before from Ryback, being a guy. You have all these toys, but they're real life toys. Oh, I got, this one can go in the ring and playing with that one, and Kamala can run in, and Hulk Hogan, and playing with all these toys. So now imagine Disney saying the same thing. Like, wow, so I could take Roman Reigns and bring him, and he can be, a Mandalorian. We can take, McIntyre and make him, put him on the second season of the Falcon and whatever, Winter Soldier. You know what I mean? So when they think of that, they think on a bigger scale. What that also entails, and here comes my film knowledge, is that all of those, all that's signed, slowly they will start getting unionized. They will probably end up under the Screen Actors Guild. And I mean, there's so many guilds, but I know that they merged with a television division. They merged with a television division as well. So somehow just imagine a world where they do that, get all these talents now under the Screen Actors Guild, and now they have a union, a fortified union, where they have balls to the wall medical. I was always told that Screen Actors Guild, their medical is like top of the line. And there was once a podcast that Stone Cold, on one of his shows, he explained, and this is like years back, so you might have to really go into the archives. He explained, I'll do a movie. Hold on, excuse me. Stone Cold would explain, I do a movie once a year just so that I can stay under the medical from the Screen Actors Guild, because they offer great medical, and I have a theory. Damn, I don't want to say that because it's going to jam somebody up. By some small chance, someone's listening to this, but it's about one of the talents. But anyhow, I'll just leave it at that. Anyhow, so now you have, these wrestlers that are under a union. They're able to do television, films, the whole 9 yards. I mean, there's rumors that they want Roman for the next Thor. We heard about Becky. Charlotte has stated that she wants to do films. She said she would have been very interested to play someone like Hela from Thor or Maleficent. Guess what both of those properties belong to? Disney. Marvel, Disney, right? Okay, so doesn't that... It just all makes sense if this were to happen as I could see it happening. So, the times are changing. As we've seen, it's just so much that's going on that's causing this to probably happen. I don't want to say sooner than later, but I could really, 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 really see this happening. Where I've heard people mention where they have a lot of lawsuits, but being a big corporation like a Disney and an Amazon, because they've thrown their hat into it, they're used to lawsuits. Okay, I couldn't even imagine how many firms that they have underneath their company to handle certain situations like this. They make movies like this called Michael Clayton, okay, where you have people that come in and ice situations down, cool things off. I'm not talking about bumping people, but you settle. When you do the big picture, they could be on the phone with him right now. It's no different than when we've heard the rumblings of Disney Fox. Oh, it's not going to happen now. Da, da, da. I was telling people, I said, that shit's happening now. They're just not, they didn't want it to get blown up because somebody caught on and it was rumblings, and they said, well, we might as well just kind of drop it and say, hey, it's not happening now, but there's possible negotiations. No, they were already talking because they got to get all that paperwork in alignment. So let's just go with my theory. Let's say right now they're interested and they're already behind the scenes talks. I mean, look all the breadcrumbs, selling off the stocks, closing the XFL, all that little funny stuff. It just looked like little breadcrumbs that could possibly lead into, liquidate, and we're about to bounce. We're going to do a year or two here with Disney, show them how the companies run, and then chances are they're probably going to get rid of us. So this is what it is. I also found it odd that time. This is the week when everything got shut down. They did the first SmackDown with no audience when they spoke on the quote-unquote demotion of Triple H. I thought that was rather odd as well, and that might also play into that. So this is all theory and criticism. That's all it is, but I would not be surprised. Just knowing how businesses are run, this could already be, the wheels could already be turned. It could be very, very covert. But remember, it did come out. There were people alluding to that. I can't remember the wrestler's name. And everyone's like, oh, he's crazy. He could have had a really, really great tip. And it could be actually going on now, that process of, okay, let's look at how many lawsuits you have. We have to start doing forecasting. Okay, which ones can we settle out? These are the things that happen if this thing's going to get sold. That's what I'm saying. It's not going to be sooner than later unless they move expeditiously on this. They're looking at all the suits. How many suits do you have? Okay, how many can we settle out? You have to be blatantly honest with what's this, who do you owe, this and that, going through all the paperwork to seeing like who do they have to pay out to settle. Because Disney, they're making money hand over finger. They could sneeze and Mickey Mouse could literally sneeze and money's going to fall out. Okay? And once they get everything back on track as far as what they're going to do with these films, and I've already done a whole other film podcast you should go check out, where I've already talked about why aren't they releasing Black Widow on their Disney Plus, and then just charge a little bit more for it. We've already seen what the movie Trolls did. So there's, I did a whole other podcast on this. Is on my, my OMG podcast, discussing how movie theaters are trying to open and they're going to fail. They're going to fail. Okay, anyway, I'm not going to even go into that. But back to Disney Plus. Yeah, they can make up, sneeze and just make crazy loot. So for them to take that little hit, they're not taking a $1 billion loss with lawsuits. No, they're probably taking a $500 million hit, 500 million, if that much, on all his different lawsuits. And I'm being, I'm overstating it. I'm overselling it. Because once they start selling, that one guy's that left NFL or something to go to XFL, he's suing for like 40 mil or something like that. He'll probably be happy to walk away with like 15, 10, 7, whatever. And they'll throw in some other stuff. I'm speaking on a business mind. So if you're just thinking that you're getting wrestling here and it's upsetting you, sorry. But I'm trying to give you knowledge as to like how this could actually play out in front of your face. So, once they forecast and look at the suits and, all right, this is the profit and loss. This is what we're going to do. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, the ratings are low. Is even a way more better time to come in and scoop this company up. And I don't see them getting any better because the writing is horrible. And I've been saying that for eons since I started all this, right? Since I started this. And then what do you see? Paul Heyman gets dusted. What do you think? Bruce Pritchard's going to stay there forever? Probably before the year's out, he'd probably be dusted. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not summer. It's going to be gone. Then they're going to start bringing some other people in. And, we need to bring it. It's just, the problem is that they're doing the same thing over and over again. It's the hamster wheel. They brought in Pat Buck, who they just got rid of, and and they're going to bring it. And it's a mishigash. And it's just like, wow, like this. Week after week, it's just like not good. It's just not good. Look at this Liv Morgan. I saw that happening. Like, yeah, it's going to end up, they're going to crash and burn with that. Then they're going to and when it really hit, it hit me when they did Elimination Chamber. I said, they're going to put it back with the Riot Squad. Because you blew the whole thing up to be this big event, and then you just had Baszler just come and just squash everybody. And I was like, that was dumb. That was just. So once they get their hands on this property and they start meeting with the talent and start seeing, look, trust and believe. There's someone over in that company is a diehard wrestling fan and just itching at the, man, what we could do, the things that we could do. We can get this match, we can get that match, we get this and that and the third, and we could really start getting these storylines. It's no different than with the way that Marvel formulates their stuff. Marvel is like 4 and 5 years ahead, probably 7 years ahead of the game. And they have been for years. They knew that they were going to end up getting the properties. As I was telling my nephew, they're going to end up getting Spider-Man. And the best thing that could happen, and he was saying, no, I hope it doesn't. The best thing that could happen is that the next Venom movie flops. And that everything that Sony does flops. Because I said this on my OMG podcast, not another episode. Sony films almost went out of business. The Spider-Verse is keeping them afloat. Okay, so if Venom had the first one bombed, and then where they were supposed to do Sinister Six, I'm getting to a film bag here, but I'm going to transition back. Anyhow, yeah, you guys can go just do your research. Sony was supposed to go under, and they didn't. So I would not be surprised if within the next 2 years or so, if not sooner, Spider-Man ends up back, and they have all the rights to Spider-Man. So, with that being stated, if Disney gets that's just, once again, that's another layered on top of millions. Then on top of all the other shows that they're creating, the different universes they're creating for Star Wars, they're gonna make money hand over fist, man. So for them to acquire this company and clean out all that debt and all that garbage, have him liquidate so he can get the F out and all those people can get out, only person I would keep there is Stephanie, period. And maybe Hunter. And I know I'm jumping all over the place, but, you know. Anyhow, yeah, that's my take on that. I'm going to leave it at that. I have another episode coming. I'm not going to be long-winded. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll give you that breadcrumb. I'm out. Random wrestling thought of the day.